Hi, I'm Chana Mason, coach and author. I recently met with a client who is looking to get married, and he really wants to meet an amazing girl. And I said to him, well, have you told all of your friends and family that you're looking to meet someone? And immediately his body clenched and got super tight. And he's like, no. And I said, why not? He said, well, I don't know. What if they don't introduce me to anybody good? Or what if they laugh at me? Or what if just it all ends up being a disappointment? And we looked into that a little bit, but then later on in the conversation, I said to him, well, have you gone on any dating sites? And he said, well, I did a little bit, but I don't know. What if it ends up being a disappointment? And then he brought up another situation. And again, he said, what if it ends up being a disappointment? And we noticed that this was a pattern. Let me rephrase that. I noticed this was a pattern. When he kept saying, what if it ends up being a disappointment? He hadn't noticed this at all. And when I pointed it out to him, he was totally surprised. He's like, what do you mean I'm talking about everything being a disappointment? I said, well, you're just kind of scared of being disappointed. And he said, yeah, kind of sucks to be disappointed. And I said to him, you're absolutely right. It totally sucks to be disappointed. The question is, does avoiding doing things that might lead to disappointment actually cause less disappointment in your life or more? And this is where we can often miss the target. Missing the target is actually the title of one of the chapters in my upcoming book, Inner Voices. To get access to the book, look for information in the comments below. So we miss the target when we have a belief that we think is going to lead us in this direction, but it turns out it actually leads us in the opposite direction. So for example, this guy didn't want to be disappointed, so he didn't want to tell his friends and family that he was looking to meet a really nice girl and get married. And by avoiding the disappointment that might come with that, he got to stay in the situation he was in, which felt very safe. But when I asked him, well, how do you actually feel in the situation you're in right now? And he said, well, I don't know, I'm kind of bummed. I'm a little bit sad and I'm lonely and I'd really like to get married. I really want to find companionship. So I said, let me get this straight. In order to avoid disappointment, you're going to stay in the disappointment you're in right now. At that point, he totally cracked up. He saw the irony of his situation. That if he's believing that putting himself out there can create disappointment, he's avoiding doing the exact same things that will actually lead to enjoyment and success and pleasure and novelty and enjoyment. And instead, he gets to stay in the disappointment that he's constantly in all the time. We do this all the time in order to stay safe, but we don't have to. And you can do this with your beliefs specifically. And some beliefs seem like they're going to point you towards success, and they actually end up pointing you towards failure. One of my favorite beliefs that does this is, I should lose weight. If you're a few pounds overweight or hundreds of pounds overweight, you might have the belief that you should lose weight, and you might be thinking that that belief is going to lead you exactly where you want to go. So I'll give you a very simple way to test that theory. Close your eyes if you're not driving, and if not, then just imagine the scene while you're driving without closing your eyes so that you can stay safe. Close your eyes and imagine a table laid out with all of your most favorite, most junky, sugary, fattening, whatever treats. Chocolates and cakes and cookies and potato chips and popcorn and whatever else, pizza that you can think of. And picture yourself standing in front of this table whilst believing the thought, I should lose weight. So imagine yourself, if I say to you, you should lose weight, and picture yourself in front of that table. My experience with the hundreds of students and clients I've worked with, they all say the same thing. Believing that thought makes them want to eat more. It makes them want to race to the table and swallow it whole. It doesn't make them want to step back, which is really interesting. We think that this simple belief is going to help us get to the target we're aiming for, but it actually leads us in the opposite direction. So that's something I would always ask you to explore. If you have a belief that you think is absolutely true and absolutely important, ask yourself, what results is this belief leading to in my life? How does it make me feel? How does it make me behave? What does it do to my body? What does it do to my relationships? And write all of that down. And then ask yourself, what was the target that I was aiming for when I was believing this thought? What was I hoping to achieve by believing the thought that I should lose weight? Perhaps I was hoping to experience thinness, weight loss, enjoyment, happiness. And it turns out that the belief makes me stressed, it makes me eat more, and it makes me feel bad. And so actually, totally missing the target. You can explore this tool and many others in my book, Inner Voices. For more, click on the links below. Take care.